That's called Tronicaltune, and it's a device that you can retrofit to your existing guitar. Actually, the retrofit process is pretty simple. The only thing that you need to do is you remove the old tuning pegs, and then you just swap the new tuning pegs in, and they are like, you know, little bolts, as you can see here, and they are like, you know, locked with the existing wrench, and it takes around, like, you know, it depends a little bit how good you are with this, maybe between 10 to 20 minutes, really depends. And when this is done, then you start with the string up process. It's a string up mode in, and then it actually not only tunes your guitar itself, but it also changes to all different open tunings. And I think that's the cool thing about this, that now you can, with a push of your finger, you can access now all the popular open tunings with your favorite instrument. You know, let's start. This is like in a sort of like a standard tuning. So what you do is you switch them. Do this again maybe from the start. When you switch it on, you see it always remembers the last completed tuning. In this case, it was a standard tuning. You know, but I wanted to actually change my tuning now from a standard tuning. Let's say next song I want to play like a Jimi Hendrix song, so a half step lower. So what I'm doing now, I press this on button one more time, and now I can actually go through the different menus. So we have, like, you know, up and down button and left and right button, and I want to go to a preset which is saved on this B, you know, B symbol, and it's called Hendrix tuning. Actually, it's every string tuned a semitone, so one step down. So what you do then is you just activate the system. You know, or this preset actually in this case, and in this middle of this navigation cross here, there's an enter button. So I enter this now because that's the tuning I actually want to pick. Enter. So now it brings the guitar close to this tuning. So now I actually show to you like from the front. So what I'm doing right now is I strum all of the strings. So now it strums. The strum actually, like, you know, brought most of the strings there. So I mute it one more time. So you see two strings were still red, the others are green. Green means in tune, red means they're not in tune. So you have to actually pick those strings again. In this case it was the B and the E string. And the B and the E string, as you can see, you know, is now the last string is tuned, and now everything is tuned. And when it's tuned, it turns off, shuts off on its own. So now I'm actually like a half step lower. So this is classical Hendrix tuning. Let's say next tuning I want to do something much more different. Let's say I want to go to popular tuning, Rolling Stones, use it all the time, open G, same thing. It's on the green B, so you realize before it was red, now it's green. It's because we have three different preset banks. We have the red one, we have the green one, and we have the blue one. The red and the green one preset banks are the ones that with the factory presets, many popular open tunings. And the blue one is the one for your personal setup. And the personal setup actually is something that you can save yourself. Let's say you want to have different open tuning, or you want to tune your guitar, almost doesn't matter which way, there you can save it. I activate the tuning by pressing the enter button. It's activated, brings the guitar close. So again, I strum all the strings. You already can hear, you know, acoustically I muted one, so you see two strings plus the left, the D string and the high E string. So I pick those, the D string, you know, and the high E string. And that's now the open G. most of the times when you have a tuning, you use it and then you want to retune this tuning. So that's why the whole system is set up in a way that it's always, when you turn it on, remember the last tuning that you completed. And you can see this also because the preset actually will blink, you know, for a second, so that you see, oh, that's the one that is activated. In this case, when I turn it on, I see the green G LED was blinking, so that actually tells me, that's the Open G preset. So I want to, you know, retune this now. So again, I only do it like, you know, and it actually does it the same way as a human being would also do it. If the string is too high, it is actually like the tuning is a little bit lower, and if it's too low, you know, then of course it actually goes just to the note because it's lower, there's no problem. So again, better, right? And so on. So this set, you also saw that those tuners are mechanically, you can just tune them manually. Let's say the battery, which is this one here. Show this. Very tiny, small battery. It's good for 300 different tunings. So even if you are in the most extended Grateful Dead session, weekend, I would say, you know, it's very hard to drain the battery with 300 tunings. Plus, you can recharge the battery. There's a little, you know, charger that is, will be plugged in here, included in the package worldwide. It takes around an hour, then it's recharged for the next 300 tunings. But let's say, you know, you were scared, oh, you forgot to charge it, and now you like, you know, you can't use the system anymore, so what are you doing? So you see, the cool thing about the system is you can still tune manually. There's no risk, you know, involved. You can still totally tune it manually, you know, as you would do like with a manual, with a regular tuner. Of course, the difference is that it's mechanically much more sophisticated. Everything's like designed, engineered, and manufactured all at different products in Germany. So you will have very high-end, machine actually there, even without the battery. But in the, of course, long run, I'm pretty sure that you will prefer to use it with a battery because it's much more fun. Because the only thing that you're doing is you switch it on, as I showed you again, you strum all the strings. Of course, that's something that the human being can't do, because what we are doing actually is we tune all the strings at once, you know, so it's measuring all of the strings and makes sure that the strategy is actually right, that you get the best result. So the result that you would get here is pretty darn good. The result that you would have a very hard time to get, because you only can tune one string at a time, and that's one of the advantages. The system comes equipped with like 6 lock-in tuners, as you see. Those are like in new developed lock-in tuners, and they have a surface locking system. That's how we call that. So the string, instead of like being locked at one particular point where it structurally could be weakened and therefore break, is now here locked at the whole surface. So this distributes the stress on a bigger surface, and therefore it doesn't break as easy anymore. So you can do hundreds of open tunings back and forth and so on without breaking the strings. It's a very easy answer. Why is guitar much more cooler than keyboard? Why don't guitar players play the keyboards? I tell you why. Because they like the raw, real stuff. They like the sound, the individual difference, the note, the tone that they get just with this particular instrument, just with this individual setup. So if you don't care about that and you want to sound like a keyboard player, then you maybe have other options. If you like what most guitar players like, to have your individual sound, to actually not give up, you know, the tone that you paid so much money for, having a nice guitar, pickups, and so on, an amplifier, then there is no other option than this. This doesn't touch the structural design of the guitar at all. The guitar is tuned where it's normally tuned at the headstock. The mass is sort of like comparable to what it was before, so you will have sort of like the same sustain. Therefore, you will not change anything about the sound. And plus, you always have to see that there's a lot of difference between like a virtual sound and a real sound. The difference is the overtones. You know, have all of the overtones, and you will recognize this when you have, like, for example, an open tuning, how nice now all of the strings blend because of the overtones. So digital systems, they just, you know, they don't have the same overtones, and plus if they have something, then it's all the same, you know. It's like like a synthesizer. So I think it actually doesn't fit the model of this instrument. I mean, then you don't need a guitar in general. Then, I mean, buy the cheapest instrument you can get, you know, with the most crap sound. Then you can use a system like this, because who cares, you know? Why spend like a few $1,000 for a nice instrument then? Why go through all of the labor pain, having like a nice amplifier, checking out the right pickups and cable and so on, if after all it goes through sort of like some crap algorithm, like digitize it and make it all like the same as some cheapo, you know, $100 like Chinese crap guitar? You know, I mean, I don't get it. So I think that's what most guitar players. If you want to have the real thing, then you want to have the real, you know, guitar. You want to have the real tuner, and that is the Tronicaltune. There's only one real tuner, which doesn't actually change anything negative of your instrument. So this is retrofittable to all different electric and acoustic guitars. Most popular brands like Fender, Gibson, Martin, Taylor, Yamaha, Ibanez. You don't have the time now for all of the brands, so I would say the vast majority of the market. And it retails for $299. And if you want to check it out, please check it out, Tronicaltune. Of course, just in case if you forgot the name Tronicaltune, you go tronical.com. There you can check the system out, with all different tutorials and videos. And also, you know, please go to your next dealer. We just are very happy to announce that we just finished, or we just signed in this, you know, a distribution agreement with a very, you know, good Italian distribution company, Friend Export. So they will make sure that you will get all over Italy in all of the stores. And I'm very happy that finally this is now available to all of the Italian guitar players. That was a long-awaited call, which was finally answered now. Check it out, Tronicaltune, $299.